What is happening, everybody? We are here, a full panel. We got Joanna Yates in the house from Sedona, Arizona. What's up, Joanna?
What's up, you guys? How's it going?
Yes, it's going good. We have a great show for you. I can't wait to talk to you about everything that you're doing out there. We also got last week's whole shot winner, spokesman MTB, right there.
Oh, yeah.
He got a cigar that was like a random cigar sitting on my desk. And then we flew him out, got him to a Padres game because San Diego is Steve Dorsey's initial. So we flew him all the way out.
I got a hat that has my initials on it.
Then he bought a hat all the way from Durango. And of course, Joey Yates down there. Joey's got a brand new microphone for you all. Joey, hit him with a little bit of that bass.
Oh, yeah, I have a new microphone, everybody.
Sexy voice.
So I'm going to abuse this microphone.
I love it.
I love it.
And for the folks that are here on YouTube with us live, Joey Yates and Joanna Yates are not married. They told me to tell you guys this. They both have amazing significant others that are completely different from each other, and they may or may not be related somehow.
We don't know.
Marriage.
Yeah, we haven't figured that out yet.
We don't know.
We are bike related, though.
Yes. You know what? It's a good last name to have, Joey.
Nice.
Where does Yates derive from?
Ooh, why are you doing this to me, Mark?
Yeah.
Are we gonna get two answers?
Joey, you probably know better than I do. I don't know. Again, my married name, so who knows?
I think it's an English name, but I'm not 100% sure. I do get the thing when people ask me for my last initial and I say why. Sometimes they're like, because we need your last initial.
Yeah. Joey, do you ever get people like, you'll be on the phone and you're like, yeah, Joanna Yates, and then they're like, Gates?
Yeah, I get Gates. Yeah. When I was in the fire academy, I was Gates. Yeah.
Yeah, I always
Or
think
in Yates.
Oh, Yates.
Yates. I've never gotten that one, so that's new.
Is that like Tarjay? Yates.
Yeah, Tarjay, very
fancy version.
Right, Steven and Stefan. We got a whole lot of people in the chats joining us tonight, all the way out. We got Dusty the Dutchman out there, and we got Miami in the house with Mountain Bike Q&A. Awesome podcast. We also have MTB Ozeki. What's up, Kaz? He says, I'm writing at Benelli's. Let's have fun. Listen to the podcast and write at some Benelli's. Hell yes. Also got MTB TNA in the house. All right, my friend, step aside. I've got this whole shot. Ooh, yes. And for the folks that are for the folks that are new, Joanna, what we do here on the show is at 6:30. It's the first person that makes a comment wins the whole shot for the segment podcast.
Oh,
and
okay.
Recently just started doing this kind of like a white elephant gift, not the exchange, but if you win the whole shot, you win something. And I see Joe Yates looking around his studio right now because last week was a random cigar. And this week, let's get into the whole shot right now. Let's see who it is. Joey, who is it? Who's the whole shot winner tonight?
This is a good one tonight.
Is it?
Mountain Bike TNA with the whole shot, and she called it out.
Oh, yes. Oh, and then she said it like that. Let's see. Spokesman, pretend you're Mountain Bike TNA and read that out loud just so we can hear how she sounds. How does she sound?
Mountain Bike TNA. I didn't know you were talking to me.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like whole shot, right? She's like whole shot.
Yeah, Joanna's got it. She got
the whole. I got you.
She's got the whole shot.
I'm like
whole shot. She has got it.
You.
She's like, I won. Apparently, I'm on mute. Okay, well, you won. So kudos.
Congratulations, you won. Joey Yates, tell her what Mountain Bike TNA out of Miami wins. What are we going to send her?
Mark, seriously, I have nothing other than I can talk into this microphone all night.
Yeah, I got a pair of reading glasses.
We'll give her a random one. We're going to send you this nice, beautiful koozie.
Okay.
Oh, that's pretty fancy.
So, okay, well, I may, because it's a lady in there, so I may have something for her as well.
Oh.
So if she messages me, she'll get some MTV vibes.
That's cool.
Her super sick. So
oh,
see those oil slick
Sea Mark.
That is
Something,
super
something.
cool.
So message me, girl. I got you.
Wait, let's see those up close one more time. Let's see that.
Wait, too late. She already accepted my gift.
These are, yeah.
Hot
Custom,
damn.
real slick.
Those are beautiful.
Thanks,
Holy
dude.
crap. So wait, okay, so Joanna, we got to go into all this. So
Yeah.
not only are you a mountain bike content creator, you help spearhead Sedona Mountain Bike Festival, and you create jewelry as well?
Yeah. So I wear a lot of hats in the entrepreneur space. Like I do a lot of things, but I love like all the things that I do. So I work for Thunder Mountain Bikes. I help them with content creation and some marketing. And I also do the same for the Sedona Mountain Bike Festival here in Sedona, which we just met at the festival, which was awesome.
Yes.
I also coach and guide here in Sedona, and I'm a remote coach as well. So you guys have probably been seeing my content all over the internet. We just did a big push for the 30-day challenge that I'm doing, and that is a month of skills. And like we're in it. It's day 4 today, and there's a lot of progress being made. And yeah, and I have a jewelry brand, which is MTB Vibes right here. And I make a ton in my free time, I make a ton of really creative jewelry, which was like my COVID baby. So, when everything was shut down, I was like, I'm going to figure out something to do at the shop. So I just like got all the parts at Thunder Mountain Bikes and started making jewelry with them. So it kind of evolved from there. Yeah.
That is sick.
Yeah.
That is sick. Joey, can you pull up do you have a website or is that on your Instagram?
Joey, go to mtbvibes.com and you'll see there's hats, there's jewelry. If you have a lady in your life, I feel like there's some dudes on here. Yeah, it's all handmade. And of course, like, made from bike parts and mostly chains and tubes and things like that. But yeah, it's a kind of a cool thing to wear,
That is rad. I don't know if there's any other competitor for jewelry for mountain bike parts out there.
Yeah, I think there's a few. I think there's a few of ladies out there that definitely make stuff, different for sure. But I think what gave MTB Vibes like a little bit of a push is I've set up a booth multiple years at Rome Fest. So a lot of ladies have pieces of mine, which is really cool. So
that is awesome. In fact, I think who do we have on the show not too long ago? Yes.
Elise had my earrings on.
Yes.
Yeah, my girl.
Yeah, she was rocking them good too. I was pretending like she wasn't. I was pretending like I wasn't looking, but they look good.
Yeah, there it is. Fuck yeah, bike jewelry. There it is. Scroll down. Yep. Scroll down so you can go and see all the things here.
It's sweet. I'm sitting right next to Joey, and I've never had this behind the scenes view right now. I get to see it before you see it. It's really nice. This stuff looks great.
Dude, thank you. Yeah. And so this kind of has like a Sedona vibe to it, right? Like I do a bunch of crystals and stuff like that. And I kind of make a play off of the vortex here. Like this stuff was born in the vortex. So it's definitely good vibes. And it makes you ride better. So if you wear my earrings, you're going to slay.
Look at that.
Nice.
That is insane.
I like to hear that.
For the folks that are on Spotify and iTunes, we're on her website here. And this jewelry doesn't break the bank and it's sick.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Thank you guys. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you gotta. If
All
you guys
right, I
haven't
see
had
some
chance,
gifts
check it out.
coming.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's cool. So MTB TNA, congratulations on a gift from our guest, Joanna Yates. Holy crap.
I got you, girl.
That is amazing. She says, I think she said on there, this is the best whole shot gift ever.
No, it's not. The cigar is the best.
Cigar was the best.
Cigar was the best.
I've got puppies in here real fast, guys. So if you hear my dogs barking, I have two
You're gonna
little
be a hit.
dogs.
This is a dog friendly.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yes.
They're like, Mom, what are you doing? Why are we allowed in this room?
Yeah.
They're
Also,
hilarious.
Want to give we got a $19.99 donation to the show by Kaz, which is amazing. Thank you so much, Kaz, for the donation to the show on that $19.99. You are the man. I'll be splitting that in half with our guest right here, and we'll be sending her a Venmo for some cashish, which is awesome. You guys are the best, man. We got Trail Monster also out of Arizona. He is in here. We got Double R in the house. Is what up, everyone? a ton of people are in here. I can't even keep up with the chats. Joey, I'm trying to keep up, but boy, this is crazy. Check this out. We got Joanna Yates in the cast there. What's up, everyone? Adam Mock is in the house. This he says, "What's up? I'm late to the party, but you are here, bro." Dude, I'm scrolling all the way down. If I don't somehow get you guys, I am definitely trying to get you all. Riding Dirty's in the house from Arizona too. Well, you're bringing the Arizona people.
Up? Yeah, Riding Dirty.
Roni 50 says Dirt Dog. The Dusty Dutchman says Joey has some sexy shit. We can test that mic. Yes, which is awesome. Okay, so Joanna, you are on day 4 of your 30-day. Is it too late for people that are listening? If they catch this on day 10, they catch this podcast on day 15, can they still join you? And if so, how do they do that?
Yeah, so we're day 4, so it's still the first week of skills practice, and you can still join right now if you want to join. The link is in my bio, in my Instagram bio, but it's also on my website. So you can go to joannajyates.com and you'll see it'll say "Learn from me," and then you can click on it and see some programs that I offer on my website. And right now, this week, we're working on some slow speed skills. So this week has really led up to the track stand and learning how to hold the track stand longer. And if you've never practiced a track stand before, to gain confidence to learn how to do that skill. And it's in progression style. At the beginning of the week, we went over a couple of wheel lifts and things like that, which was pretty awesome. And yeah, we have an amazing group in there right now. So you can still sign up.
That is awesome. So go to the Instagram and head onto the link and join that 30 days of progression. And for the folks who don't know, yeah, thank you, Joy. You just pulled it up. Joanna Yates is also a mountain bike coach. I don't know how you have time to do all of these things, and you're amazing.
There's a lot of stuff that I do. But
how long have you been coaching?
I have been coaching since 2015.
Shoot.
And
that's a long time.
Yeah, I am originally from West Virginia, so I haven't always lived in Arizona. My husband and I, we moved to Arizona 7 years ago to mountain bike full time. So we moved to Sedona to ride bikes because we were sick of the snow. We were living at Snowshoe Mountain, so we were doing like the summer winter, and we got sick of the snow, and we were like, where can we move that has really great trail access? We can ride year round and not have to drive to the trailhead. And Sedona kind of hit all those spots for us. And we were like, all right, let's do this. So, yeah.
So how were you, not this most recent Sedona Mountain Bike Festival, but the one before, Snowdona?
Oh my God, dude, that was rough. That was so rough. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. That one really, I will say that it went okay, but after we got like 11 inches of snow and we had to cancel the Friday, we were kind of freaking out, right? Because people pay to come to that event, and like it's just how it is. The show must go on, and we literally couldn't move vans or anything up there on Friday because there was so much snow.
Oh, to the stage.
And we had like vendors turning around that were on the way to the fest. So that was a crazy festival, and I'm so thankful that we got through it, and that this year
it was a blast.
Redemption year. Yeah, yeah, it was crazy. Very stressful, but what I will say is that the Sedona Mountain Bike Festival, and shout out to Mike Rainey, he's owner of Thunder Mountain Bikes and of the festival. Like, he manages it so well, and also there's such a good team that we have. I mean, it's pretty amazing. So yeah, we're super thankful for that. And, I mean, there's always going to be people that are upset with you, but your hands are tied, and like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, you're definitely trying to put on the best that you can with what you got. And, that was a complete pivot for everybody. When it started snowing, we're like, it's going to be fine. And then it kept coming and we're like, whoa, but we got a sick name out of it. I mean, Snowdona, am I right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty great. It was crazy. So did you guys come to that one? Were you at the fest last year?
Oh, yes. Yeah. We were throwing snowballs at you from a distance, but we never
had a great time.
I'm teasing. We did have a great time. We actually, on one of the days we went down the Haas and we rode the Haas trail system, and I think everybody else was there too. And it was, but that place, I never would have gotten a chance to see it. And it was so fun. That place was amazing.
Red Mountain Rush and all that stuff there is so
Yes.
like Big O. That trail is super fun. There's so many trails.
Yeah.
There's so many fun trails there.
So many. I think my favorite was Sisters. If I remember. Yeah. That was
Super
right.
fun.
That was rad.
Awesome.
And Red Mountain Rush was fun too. And at one point, I think it was so funny because we pulled over to like get our squad together because we had a big train that kind of spread out as we went. We pulled over about 3/4 of the way down, and Joey goes, "I smell brakes." Flying, and we checked the segment of that area. And what was it? What was it called? Like, don't touch them brakes, or
it was something like "Don't touch those brakes" or new pads or something like that.
Love it.
That was awesome. And then we had Braden Bringhurst behind us flying down the mountain with his crew. And we saw him at the top, like manualing over to the drop-in area.
Oh my gosh.
We're like, Braden, you can go first. And he's like, no, go ahead. So the whole time we're like, just haul ass. He's behind us.
So polite.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
I think I said something like, we got to hurry. There's some guy and he's rolling a manual all the way down the hill.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Adam just said in the chat, he's like, can we talk about that dope Purple Rain poster in the background?
Yes.
Like which side here? Yeah. So I'm hanging in my kitchen. Like I'm at my dining room table that's behind me, and I'm a big Prince fan. So yeah.
Favorite Prince song ever of all the albums? What's your go-to?
Ooh, man, that's a hard one. I would say, out of all of them, I would say like definitely Purple Rain. Classic, right? Like, and there's so many, not just the Prince recording, which is amazing, but like so many covers of that song that I love. So, oh my gosh, so good.
Yeah, that is a classic.
I remember seeing that in the theater. I remember.
Really? Oh,
wow. No kidding.
I know exactly where I was when I saw that movie. Yes.
Love it.
Yeah.
Adam Box says, "Let's go."
What a good album. Oh my gosh.
Amazing. He was so ahead of his time. I loved how he would just put music out. And then I think he was the first one, and has he been the only one to change from a name to a symbol? Is he the only one?
Yeah, the copyright issue. Yeah.
Yeah. What a boss.
Yes. Oh, When Doves Cry. I love that song too.
That is a good one too.
Yeah.
That is a good one too.
Was
this a song, Trail Monster? Is that a real song? Did you say When Doves Cry?
Is it? I don't know.
Is that a real song?
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, probably, right? Like, I'm not sure, but I'm like, was it on his? I'm like, now I'm looking. I'm like,
right?
I'm on Spotify right now.
Happy Zebra seems to know. She says it's a legendary song.
There it is.
I see it.
Is it for real?
It was when a real song. When he was a symbol, though.
Oh, it's when he was. Oh, it's a recent one. Oh, yeah. The JT is actually saying it absolutely is a real song. Wow. I like it.
Give that a listen.
It's absolutely a real song.
How about when Joey cries? Joey doesn't cry. So going to your coaching, you didn't even realize that you helped us on day one of the Sedona Mountain Bike Festival. We decided to hit the first trail and warm it up with some Highline. Holy cow. That thing is fun, gnarly, and tech. And we got through the shoot, and Joey Yates here happened to catch a clip. I think it's on your Instagram, and he showed us all the line. And we're like, dude, who was that girl? And she was smiling the whole time. And he goes, that's Joanna Yates. And we watched your line over and over. For the folks who don't know what we're talking about on Highline, after the shoot, there's these crazy steps. You come down a little further, and it goes steep and tech into a hard right corner.
Yeah.
When we did that not the Snowdona year, but the year before that, that was the only time. So that was our second time this trip on Highline. And we all walked that right-hand turn, I think, because we were so stoked we made everything else. And we're like, let's not push our luck. So this time on the drive out, like we kept watching. I was like, oh, I know Joanna's a coach out there. She's going to know the line. And then we found the clip. And it made it so simple for us. Like we didn't have any problems because we watched this clip. And then we
Nice.
saw you at the Sedona Mountain Bike Festival, and we like fanned out. We're like, "Oh, you saved us!"
I remember you guys were so hilarious. You're like, we watched your line on this section, blah blah blah. You know, oh yeah, here it is.
Joey
And
and
look
Mark.
at the smile right there.
Look at that smile. God, I'm just cruising down some double black tag.
Funny thing about that day. So I was actually guiding, and I was taking some clients out on Highline. And anyway, so they wanted to like see this line. They're like, "Can we see you ride the line first?" And I was like, "Sure, let's do this. I'll show you." So there's this
And
big
all the phones
hiking
come
group
out.
of women. Yeah, this big hiking group of women, and they were like, "Are you gonna ride that?" And they were like, "Can we watch?" And they were all filming. I'm like, I've never been so nervous to do this line. I was like, gosh, I ride this all the time, but I'm so nervous right now. And so they were like cheering on, hyping me up the whole time, like literally like, "You go, girl. You got this." Like the whole, it was so hilarious. And I was just laughing. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't help but smile. Yeah. It was pretty funny.
That is awesome. You were like, hit the line and you're like,
"That's right, brother."
That's right. All the way through. I mean, here, just for the folks that are here on YouTube Live and Facebook Live, Joanna, give us a smile. This is what Joanna looked like. Go ahead. Show us that smile. That's her on the line.
Okay. Yeah. I was just like, okay, grinning ear to ear, riding that gnarly line. You guys know that's steep. I mean,
that's steep.
Yeah.
No, it is not baby food. That is
yeah.
It does not show on GoPro, like, because you just see that right hand turn, and it's you don't want to go past that right hand.
Yeah, and then if you go too far to the left, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble town.
Yeah. And you know what? I feel like for a lot of people, that's the crux move. So that move, and there's a drop like right after the shoot. For a lot of people, those are two problem areas that they
That's hard.
Yeah, they were like, I didn't quite get it. And it's like, dude, it's cool. Cause I'll just be honest with you. It took me a couple years before I cleaned that entire trail. The climb plus the descent. I mean, that's a beast of a trail. And so if you can do that, you're doing something.
Yeah, right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you look beautiful going through that. Joey or Steve, show us what your face looked like on the climb. Here we go. Yeah, there's Steve's face.
No, I think that's the day he became a man.
Yeah.
Is that your face on the climb?
The climb and the descent.
Probably.
Joey,
but don't you think the climb is a good indication? It's like, hey, maybe get yourself ready, right?
Yeah.
That's my favorite style of climbing. I love that.
Me too.
Stuff. Yeah.
Me too. I love it.
Otherwise, you just get bored and you kind of tune out. But that's challenging you the whole time, and it's so much fun.
Yeah,
I agree.
100%. Everything on the climb wants to push you off to the right. It's intense. Like I was like this on the climb. Oh wait, there's Joey. I look like Joey on the climb.
You look like Joey on the climb.
That's Joey on the climb. He's having a good time. Like, oh, this is his jam.
I love it.
I was like this. Try not to go off to the right. Everything wants to push you off to the right on the climb. All the rock, the cactus, the little techie rocks. Rocks.
It was aggressive.
See, that's the mistake you're making, Mark. You're looking at all that stuff trying to push you off, and you're looking at the right. You're just supposed to look at the trail straight ahead.
I know.
You know what I tell people though with stuff like that, and when you're riding exposed trails, is to look to success, because think about it, where you look, you will go, but you need to think about having tunnel vision, especially when things are exposed, and to think of like horses in the races, right? They have blinders on for a reason, because if they look left or right, it's like they're going to mess up. So keeping your focus ahead and really looking to success to find your line is huge. And a lot of times when you just look ahead, everything else is just going to fall into place for you. Like you've got better body position. You're like focused on the trail ahead. You could stop if you need to, right? You could bail if you need to. It just helps so much to have that like tunnel vision, especially with exposure.
God, that's great advice. Yes, I love that. Now, how far ahead is like the traditional place to look? I've heard people say not right in front of your front tire, but not too far down the line either. Is there a magic number or spot?
It really depends on your speed, right? So like for the first part of Highline, I'm not looking too far ahead. I mean, I'm looking far enough ahead for the climb to get to my next move, of course. But like, if I was going way faster, like you are on the downhill, I'm going to be looking further ahead. So really your speed dictates on how fast you need or how far you need to look ahead.
Love that. Trail Monster saying, so you're saying when I'm falling off the cliff, that's wrong?
Yes.
I look at my feet. Yeah.
I look at my feet.
What gave it away?
But I mean, for real though, like, and especially, this is not just a simple thing for even just beginners, because, when coaching beginners, we are trying to help them even just look ahead because they're so focused on everything else that's going on, like shifting their foot placement, their body position, all these things. And if you can just look where you want to go, oh my gosh, it opens up so much for you. And especially if you're going faster, look ahead.
Right. So if I understand you correctly, you're saying pay attention to your line and your body and the bike will follow.
Yeah. A lot of times, yes. And, because if you are like so focused on like a root or rock or cactus and you're looking there, have you ever noticed like your tire just veers that way?
Fixation. Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
Oh my gosh. So look, and that's like from one of my coaches, Mike Holm in Moab. He always says like, look to success. If we want to get up there, if we want to get up that climb, we need to look where we're going to go. So keep the eyes ahead.
That is great. MTB TNA say, this is great. If I had any goals in life, I'd use this advice.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
that is for real though.
Yeah. And so much of this, y'all, like you guys know, I mean, you've been riding for a while and so much of mountain bike skills, you can really relate to your life in so many ways. It's right. Like we don't
100%.
look behind us, right? Like we're not going that way. We need to look ahead and look to success. So you can also take this for life advice too.
100%. Being present, being in the moment. Like you can't be heading down the trail and going like, dude, I have this interview tomorrow I'm so nervous about. Like, if you do that, you're going to die. You need to be like right here, right then, and focus on it.
You think about that when you're climbing.
Yes. Yeah. This is true. Yeah.
You filter out all of life crazy when you're going up the hill, and then you just focus on the trail on the downhill.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And something about that is like getting back to the present moment. And so you guys may have felt like this because people ask me this all the time, like when I'm guiding or coaching or, especially like guiding on Highline and people are following my line through, they're always like, Joanna, do you get nervous before this? Or do you like, dropping into these gnarly lines all the time? Well, not for me necessarily anymore. I used to get super nervous, right? Especially first riding features like that. And so sometimes when you are riding new features in that way, you can get really nervous and you have butterflies and you're like, oh God, you're like fight or flight state, right? Your heart's up here and you're like, oh God. And one of the best ways to bring it back to the present moment is just to breathe. And I know that may sound so cliche to be like, oh, just breathe, but it is really something that I help a lot of my students with. Get back to your breath, calm yourself down, come from mental clarity, and then hit the line, right? It helps so much because then you'll know like, okay, should I be hitting this today or not? Right?
I can't calm down. I can't calm down.
Yeah. And sometimes that's good to have that little bit of that nervousness. But, a lot of times we want to come from this, like this confidence and hesitating less and committing more. When you commit, things go a lot better when you have the skill to ride the feature, right? And you're in a place where you're like, okay, all these things I've done before have led me up to this point, and I'm just going to ride this line with confidence.
Yes. Nice. Your body position, everything, all the languages are happening right then, internally and externally when you're in that mode. And even if I noticed when I've crashed, when I haven't committed all the way and I'm in the middle of, I got to pull out of this and it's too late. Those are the worst falls. And when I'm completely committed and I still crash, I actually have more control over my crash. Like I'm in that moment, like, okay, I'm gonna tuck and roll here, or I'm gonna run out of, or I'm gonna jump over the bars. You're kind of like somewhat still in control versus a victim, you
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
when you're in
Yes.
that space.
Well,
And
always
that brings
into
you,
a situation with a plan.
yeah. Oh my gosh. And that gives you back the control, right? Because there's
Yeah.
no shame in, there is no shame in walking things or saying things that like, like, hey, this is not for me today. Because there are times when there's features I've rode a million times in Sedona, and maybe that day something's off and I'm just not feeling it. And that is totally cool. Like walk it, listen to, and trust yourself. That's how you trust yourself on the bike. And I think a lot of people lose that. Just listen to that, right? Which is huge.
Very, very huge. Ain't no shame in the walking game, and you
Yeah.
can
Oh my
come back
gosh.
and play another day. Yep.
Listen, we all
Trail
do
I
it.
monsters.
hear you, Trail Monster. I hear you.
We
Yeah,
all do it.
trail monks.
Yeah.
Oh, we all do it. But that's also you learn when you walk a trail too, because then
Yeah.
you see like in front of it, on top of it, and behind it, and then your brain starts to work on it, and you go, "Dude, I think I got this." Either you go back up and you do it after you've walked it, or you got it on the next one. But you definitely learn something when you see it up close,
Yeah.
which is
Or
so
Yeah.
it
Go ahead.
helps you. Well, I was just going to say like, or it helps you understand like, okay, this is what I need to work on. It's teaching you something that like, okay, I'm really good at this, but I'm not so great at this. And I really need the confidence to drop into a steeper section. Okay, well, what's going to get you there? What skill do I need to practice outside of this feature to get me there? Right. And so that's a huge thing for people. And that's where coaching comes into play. And I'll just go ahead and plug that in there. I mean, if you haven't worked with a coach and you're having those times where you're feeling stuck or you're hesitating a lot or you're just not progressing like you want to, then dude, find a coach that can help you. It is worth it. It is totally worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So it's good to have a coach. I mean, being able to get information and knowledge, there's definitely nothing wrong with that. And especially if it's going to keep you injury free and more stoke on the
Oh
bike.
yeah.
I mean, heck yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they're, and you've been coaching since 2015. So you've been able to see people really change in their riding and really help
Oh yeah.
enjoy bike.
Can I
Yeah.
ask a question?
And yeah, go for it, please.
I would really love to know how coaching, in your opinion, has matured since you've started coaching, because that's a good run.
Yeah. And before I ever got a certification to coach or even was interested in that, I volunteered a ton. And I am so fortunate to have a ton of people to learn from. And I've coached for so many different companies. So many different companies, and had the opportunity to learn from some really amazing coaches. But as just like bikes have evolved and changed, so has coaching in the way that it's evolved and changed, right?
Sure.
And updating curriculum is so important. So another hat that I wear is that I am an instructor trainer for the BICP program, which is the Bicycle Instructor Certification Program. And it's such a great environment to be in. So if you ever have wanted to be a mountain bike instructor or get into coaching, you should definitely look that up. I have a course coming up in about a month that I'm teaching in Arizona, but we host them all over the country. And so, like I said, just as bikes evolved and changed, so does coaching techniques. And really, when you're in this game for a long time, you figure out that every single person has a different way of learning and is on a different bike and has a different experience. And so meeting people where they are at is so important. And just to know that like with coaching, a lot of times that it's not about me and my experience. It's great that I have that experience and it's awesome, but it's really about the client and how can I help them progress and be safe, and with my knowledge, help them become a better rider, which is the ultimate goal, right?
I just saw Trail Pimp say that he's scared of drops and gaps, and I'm in the same category. I totally understand where he's coming from with that, because that's intimidating stuff.
Yeah.
So how advanced a rider do you need to be an effective coach?
I would say Honestly, you can be a coach. So for a BICP, this is what we recommend, that you have at least 3 years of riding and some experience following someone, and shadowing someone and leading some group rides, right? Like kind of getting in that space to where you're like, yeah, like I want to deep dive more into NICA, or I want to really help my community out by whatever it is. We actually have a lot of guides that get coaching certifications so that they can just help their clients a little bit more and be safer on trail, which is awesome. So yeah, I think that after you've gotten some riding under your belt and you feel like, hey, yeah, let's do this. Because here's what I'll tell you. I did not get a coaching certification to instruct at first. I just wanted to learn how to be a better rider. And when I got my first certification, I was like, okay, cool. And I learned so much. It was crazy. I was like, man, my mind is blown. I had no idea.
Yeah, interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah. And it's a cool industry to get into for sure.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. Good question. Meet the student where they are and help them out. I mean, all the different ways of communicating and teaching is impressive to be able to pick that up so that you can be effective to every single type of rider that comes through.
Yeah.
What seems to be the biggest common denominator that people come in wanting to know?
I would say jumping. A lot of people want to learn how to jump. If they're in Sedona for a lesson, typically it's technical climbing and drops. Like drops are a thing for people that they're like, hey, because of the fact that everybody's had they think of like Pink Bike Friday fails and they're like, oh my gosh, my front tire is going to drop and I'm going to dead sailor off this, like
Friday, turn off the phone.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And they get that in their head, or they've had a bad experience where they have went over the bars, or, they're afraid to get air and they haven't had a good experience getting wheels off the ground. So, that's typically what people come to Sedona to learn. But I would say more so if you want to do the jumping, I would say wait to get to a bike park or something like that where you can really get some reps in.
Yeah. I mean, the tech in Sedona is insane. I think we did our group, which was our buddies, Joey, Josh, John, Steve here, and we did 9 miles and we felt like we did 20.
Oh yeah.
It takes it out of you.
Yeah. Sedona miles are a real thing.
Yeah. I mean, what's the formula? Is it like every one normal mile or every one Sedona mile is 2 normal miles or something like that?
Yeah, it's like double.
Yeah.
I would say
it's worse than metric.
Yes. I would say, because if you're not used to riding technical terrain like that, you're going to be like, whew, man, because you guys know it's like interval training here. You're going up a tech section, you're going down a tech section.
Oh, yeah.
You never get a ton of elevation here and there. It's like, 1,000 feet of elevation gain and descending here and there, but you're just like up and down, up and down, up and down. You use your dropper post so much.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. And it's a lot of like popping a quick little wheelie pop and then push. It's like a pull, push, and then crank, and then pedal placement. And then you're like, I've gone 5 feet.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I know. You're like, oh, this is so technical. I know.
Tech
is exhausting.
Tech is exhausting. I knew I shouldn't have had that beer last night. No, my goodness, that climbing would have killed me.
You know what, though, is tech is exhausting, yes, but technical climbing and descending will make you a really good rider. I am a testament to this because moving to Sedona 7 years ago, I rode bike park and I first started teaching and guiding in Slady Fork and Snowshoe, West Virginia. And that was very different terrain than Sedona.
Oh, yeah.
And so when I moved here, I was like, man, I do not know how to ride my bike. I was like, this is ridiculous. And it was like that, just getting your wheel up, everything. And then you're just so exhausted after a ride. I just wasn't used to those Sedona miles. So I get it when people come here and they're like, oh, that was so hard. I get it.
What's the elevation in Sedona?
We set at about, I'd say like 48-ish.
Okay. So about 5. Yeah. Just shy of 5.
Yeah.
You get a lot of riders that are coming from lower elevations and really need that help.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then that's another thing too. You're like out of breath, you're gassed. You're like, oh, I can't breathe,
Yeah. Gosh, man. And I noticed in Sedona and tech in general, which is what it's cool about what you guys are doing on day 4, slowing it all down and getting
Mhm.
that bike control, practicing the track stance, practicing going slower. Because I realize when you go slower, it's so much harder to
Yeah.
to control the
Yeah.
bike and stay balanced. So I love what you're doing there. And is that obviously something that you're forcing, not forcing, but you're really kind of highlighting for people is to slow it down?
Yes, because slow speed skills are the real MVP of riding. Okay, y'all.
Yeah.
Seriously though, if you can track stand, it really translates a lot to technical climbing because you're doing those slow speed movements and you're like, yeah, making these small adjustments. But man, track standing is such a good skill to learn, and just like coming up on a super steep downhill or something, looking at your line, getting that couple seconds to just stall and then drop into your line.
Yes.
Huge.
It makes
But
a huge
also,
difference. Joey and
yeah.
I were out on a really technical ride just today, and we're dropping into a pretty rocky section with some big jank and a little bit of drop to it. And I'd never been there before. And Joey slowed down a little bit, and so I slowed down right behind him. And I realized I wasn't putting my foot down, and
Oh,
that gave me the ability to be able to follow him into the line he chose. And he chose the best line and brought me right out of it. It was perfect. But
that's amazing.
being able to maintain that sense of balance, it gives you options,
Yeah,
and you can
totally.
still stay in the moment without pausing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree.
Huge.
And if you're working on a track stand, like one of the first progressions I would give you is like, work on
Mhm.
a ratchet pedal technique, not getting a full pedal rotation in, but learning how
Yeah.
to just, partial back power forward, partial
Right.
back power forward, and then start stalling a little bit to the side, start turning the wheel to the side, finding the side that you like the best. And that's a good progression for that for sure. Because again, like, man, slow speed skills are where it's at, y'all. And too, like good riders from riders who need a little bit of work, like if they're only doing things fast all the time, it's like we got to slow things down, because when you
Mhm.
slow things down, you learn the why of why you're doing that skill. And when you can slow down things down and do things slow and controlled, it's pretty sick.
Yeah. I feel
It
like
makes a difference.
slow it does. Slow
Yeah, it's like,
speeds really, really like expose what you need to work on
Hmm.
as you slow it down. The 2 big gyroscopes, the 29 or the
yeah,
27.5
Yeah.
stop pitching in, and all of a
yeah,
sudden you're like, whoa, I'm a little rocky here. I need to work
yeah.
on this. Heck
That's
yeah.
right. Foot down, such a good we always play that with the Groms here. They love it. It's like they will learn how to track stand just because of that. It's so fun.
It's an
Yeah.
amazing training tool.
Yes.
Yes. That is good.
I love it.
Now Sedona is not only beautiful, but it's one of the most beautiful bike fests out there. There's so many people that come into town. You guys have a ton of things going on, from group rides to people on stage talking about skills, sharing art,
Oh yeah.
movies. There's so much how did this all start? Did
Oh my gosh. I mean, so the festival, a little bit origin of the festival is like it's grown and evolved so much. I mean, we just celebrated, that was the 10th festival that we've done in Sedona. And so
what?
I came on board with the Sedona Mountain Bike Festival. I've been with Mike and the team for about 5 years now. And you know, Mike will tell you that it started, really small. He just wanted to get some friends together, bring some people to Sedona, show them the mountain bike trails in Sedona. And then he got some vendors. They got, some bike companies and reps to come out, and they just had a very small, it was in Talakepaki, which is down where
Yeah,
Uptown is.
that place
Yeah,
is
if you're
great.
familiar.
I thought that was a
Yeah.
popsicle or something. Talaki
Yeah,
Paki.
yeah.
Tongue
So
twister.
that's where they had the first one, and then he realized that, like, hey, this is going to be a bigger event than he expected, and then he moved it up to Posse Grounds, which is where the Sedona Bike Park is. And so it's just evolved from there. And each year, there's different offerings. Like this year, we offered like the whip off and the airbag and so many things. There was way more panels on stage, which is cool. Braden's talk, and then the Women's Mountain Bike Network with Mia, and like so many different things. Ask a Mountain Bike Coach, which was super cool too, and like really good music too. And
Yes.
every year it seems to just get bigger and better, which is awesome.
That is so
It's an
cool.
incredible experience. It's filled with so much richness, media, learning, vendor interaction. Being able to talk to the people that sold you your bike is amazing. What an opportunity.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
so
and
much new
two, I
tech.
feel like, yeah, and it's at the beginning of the year, so everybody's stoked, right? They're like, yes, like let's
Season
shake off the
started.
winter.
Yeah,
Yes.
Fazzari
So
had, or
cool.
Ari had its big announcement at Sedona, essentially. It was right there
Yes.
that same weekend, and it was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's evolved over the years, but like, man, all the credit to Mike Rainey and all the team that we have and the volunteers. I mean, they really make the festival possible. And it's a cool event because of that. And just the community that surrounds it, like you guys coming and everybody here that's been, like, kudos to y'all.
Oh, it's so fun. We look forward to that trip every year. And
I love
being from
it.
Southern California, I forget that for a lot of people, this is the kickoff to the season.
Yeah.
And it's such a nice place to have it for everyone to get together, people to release new things. Fazzari changing to Ari, for example. Sometimes it's like new merch, new things, new clothing lines. And then boom, the season's starting and everyone's just jonesing to get out there.
I love it.
It's so good. Now this is a great example of how a bike shop can start something incredible. I mean, a lot of bike shops do, but this is huge. This is Thunder Mountain started this whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mike Rainey with Thunder Mountain Bikes. And again, like I've been with Thunder Mountain for, I don't know, I want to say like 5 years too. And that shop has grown so much. I mean, you guys have probably all bought parts off of our e-com store. We have a really big presence and really good.
I got this shirt.
Yeah. Okay. See, but yeah. And two, if you have visited the shop in Sedona, you know that it's a small team. And I feel like sometimes the online presence can make us seem like we're bigger than we are. But really, you're gonna call and talk to a real human being. And like our customer service is us, y'all. It's us. You're gonna get one of the guys that work at the shop or whoever, James or Ian in the warehouse or whoever, and like real people are packing your orders, and it's all coming from the Vortex, baby, right to you.
I love it. I love it. Now, like, I know we joke around, but sometimes we're joking around. We're like, dude, there is something to that vortex. And when they say, hey, okay, so one of the vortexes is at the Bell Rock area. There's another one at Cathedral. And you look at the trees and the plants in that area, and they're all kind of like twisted. Like, yes.
Dude, yes, that is the vortex, right? Listen, so the vortex is different for everyone, but I really feel like for mountain bikers, the vortex is like, when you're out on trail and you just are like, maybe you've just done like a huge climb or like whatever it is, and you stop and you're like, oh my gosh, you're like taking in the view. That's when it settles in and you're like, yes, this is amazing. Because of course you feel different in Sedona, right? Like look where you are in the world. It's so gorgeous.
It is so.
I told you the vortex was real.
Yes.
In fact, Joey thought it was so real that this man got us up on the white line.
Oh my gosh, yes, dude.
It was gnarly. I mean, with the capital G, there he is.
Yeah, dude. Oof.
So gnarly. How little he is there.
Yeah, I've never rode that line. I really have no desire to ride that line.
No,
I'm good.
It wasn't on the menu, like I said. Like we just went out there to look at it, and when I got out there, I had tunnel vision. I had the blinders on, and all I could see was the sidewalk, and I just went for it.
Dude, that's amazing. Good for you.
Yeah, I didn't see the abyss below at all on that whole trail. It just
cool. That's good.
We did.
It was right there.
Yep. I've been up there a couple times and I'm like, I'm good.
Have you walked out on it?
Oh yeah, I've walked out on it before. It was definitely but one of my friends, you guys probably know him, Lars Romig, who is a local here in Sedona. He is also just a complete shredder. Him and his son Ronan like ride that all the time. It's insane.
I would like someone to show me the exit though, because I just couldn't figure out how to get back down.
I think Seth Bike Hacks has like one of the best videos of it. Actually, it's Lars and his son in that video riding it with him. And you get to see Ronan, who's like 13, 14, riding that line. It's insane.
Yes. It's super insane. In the exit looks like there's multiple ways to not do it right, and like one little way to
Yes.
do it
Yeah, I
correct,
noticed
right?
there's like one little rock pile in the G out at the bottom of the exit, and you just can't see it from the top. You have to know where it is.
Oof,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
oof, oof.
Well,
Yeah.
Joey, you're my hero too. Good job.
Yeah. Vortex
Joey
treated
earned a lot of
Joey
heads
great.
that
He was feeling good that day.
He
That
was.
was the High Line was my highlight, I think, on Friday,
Yeah.
and then Sedona was just bonus or a
Did you
Sunday.
guys, did you get up on Hangover Trail?
No, that's one that I
No.
would love to check off next time for sure.
Yeah, that's
So
on the
good.
list.
Is
Yeah, you
it?
should definitely hit that one next time since you've done, and you've probably rode the Hogs too, right?
No, we
No. Just
haven't
did
Oh,
one
seen
of the
Hawk or
H's.
Hangover.
Yeah.
No.
Hogs is next on the list, and then
Oh.
Hangover.
Okay.
Gotta get
Oh.
those.
Challenge
Gotta do
accepted.
all the triple
Nice.
H's.
We're just gonna H it up.
Are those on
Yes.
your Instagram so I can study and do my
Yes,
homework?
I will send you a video beforehand. You just message
Yeah.
me. Actually, you know what? Just let me know next time you're here. We'll just go ride together.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Perfect.
That'd be awesome. This way Joey can't secretly cheat and study all your videos before we go. And he's like, I don't know. I just did it. I mean, it was amazing.
I saw Joanna's slide. I have no idea what we're talking about.
Right? Let me see your phone. Aha, Joanna Yates. You're
I love it.
watching.
I love it.
Not cheating,
Oh,
it's studying.
yes, this
Gotta
is
do your
very,
homework.
very, very
He's
true.
a scholar.
Joanna, is now as far as coaching goes across the nation, I heard you say you do coach virtually as well. How does
Yeah.
that work, and how do people sign up to do that with you?
So right now, like I said, I'm in my challenge. I do a spring challenge and a fall challenge with people, and we have a really good group in there this time. I usually open that up for, you can sign up like a week or so before. I would still let you in right now if you wanted to come in and just like practice for the rest of the month, because you still get access to the content after the challenge is done. So if you're like, oh, I can practice as much as I wanted to, even if you're giving me 2 days a week, that's probably more than you were practicing before. And that's
True.
pretty
Yeah.
sick, right? So
Yeah.
just think about like the progress that you make in a couple of hours with a coach or at a clinic.
Mhm.
And then you actually take that and practice it. I mean, that's the missing piece, y'all.
Totally.
So anyway, my remote coaching is a lot of video content back and forth. I have a lot of videos, whether people are learning like, manuals or bunny hops or, track stands, whatever it may be. People can work with me one-on-one for specific skills. I also work with a lot of mountain bike instructors for building confidence with teaching, practicing demos, and putting themselves out there so that they get clients. But honestly, a lot of my clients are busy moms at home with kids who have obligations on the weekends, and maybe they're busy and they just cannot get to a lesson or clinic or a ride or whatever it is, but they still want to progress. And so that is really like, it's been so fun to do that, because like they'll send me videos and their kids are like out in the driveway, like stridering with them and getting some practice. And the mom is like shredding. She's like doing bunny hops in the parking lot, So
Mom's at it again.
yeah, it's pretty cool. But so we do it remotely, and it's a lot of video back and forth. And I try to give the best feedback I can so that they can improve. And I'm like, we'll do slow-mo video back and forth together. They can always ask questions, and I'll give them weekly progressions. So it's really cool. Love it.
That is very cool. Yeah, you're doing so many great things out there for people. I love it. I love it. And let's go back to where this all started. Where did your passion for mountain biking and helping people start? Were you like little Joanna, or did this kind of rub off on you when you were a little older?
Yeah, later in life. So living at Snowshoe Mountain, I mountain bike a little bit in college and stuff like that, but I didn't really get serious about it until we moved to Snowshoe and decided to stay for the summer, because we moved up there to snowboard and stayed for the mountain biking. And got a mountain bike, started riding, struggled through all the things like classic, like, and this is like wet roots, rocks, and, just wet out in West Virginia,
Yeah.
But I remember, struggling and trying to figure it out and being like, gosh, this is so hard. Like there's so many things. And then I had a front derailleur too, I was just like figuring all those things out. And I was just riding with a bunch of guys, right? My husband, but also friends. What's that?
You said a front derailleur? Oh, yeah. When it was
Yeah,
like the
like
3x7s
yeah, do you remember those?
yes. I
Yeah.
follow you. I know where we are.
Yeah. Well, actually, my first ever mountain bike was a Trek 3 series, and it was a 26-inch just hardtail. And so
Yeah.
yeah. And then I got a 29er. Yeah. And then I got a 29er, and I was like, oh, this thing is sweet. But the first ever clinic that I went to and the first coaching that I ever received was from Sue Haywood in West Virginia. I went to a women's mountain bike camp for the weekend. And that was such a game changer for me. I remember being like, what? We're looking ahead. We have one finger on the brake. Like, we have good body position. Like, my mind was blown. If you've never had coaching, like, go get coaching, because it will change your riding. It will change it. And yeah, that was just such a pivotal moment for me. And even just like a couple years later, just like figuring it out on my own, going out for solo rides and learning to empower myself, but also, building that resilience in my riding. Because as you know, when you're first starting to ride, everything seems so hard, and you're just like, trying to figure everything out. So through that process, and, I just kind of persevered through it. Like, here I am today with you guys, right? Like, just because I decided to stick with it. And I am proof that you can do this. And I always tell people that. I tell my clients that. I'm like, you can do this skill, because I am proof of it. I started like at so beginner, like so green. And not to say that's a bad thing at all. Like, savor that process. It's awesome. That's where you learn the most, right? I'm so thankful for those times, because it has really helped me connect with a lot of clients who struggled with the same thing that I did.
Yeah, we all start somewhere.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And that's why it is so important, even now, being an advanced rider and just like making my way through this stuff. I remember what that was like. And I wish I had somebody like me when I was a beginner to be like, girl, you got this, keep going, and that's where my friends and that clinic came in, and Sue and a bunch of other ladies definitely showed me the way. But yeah, I mean, get in the mountain bike community, get some coaching, and be supported by people who want to see you succeed, which I think is huge.
I love that. Surround yourself with good people. Seek information and knowledge from people that you could trust, and that that they can definitely help you get there, because they got a good track record. I mean, there's so many great coaches that we have. You obviously included, since 2015, and seen so many different types of people out there. If there is somebody who's thinking about, maybe they're scared to get lessons, and you being on the other side of giving lessons, what would you say to them to help calm their nerves down about it?
I would say, well, first, kudos that they have booked a lesson, right? A lot of people never take the first step to be like, oh, I'm going to invest in coaching. And when I say invest in coaching, yeah, it's putting up the money, but it's also investing your time. And yeah, there's this value that you're getting from it, which is huge. But to remember that whoever you're working with, whatever coach it is, and if you're looking for a coach in your area, please reach out to me, because I have a ton of resources and a ton of friends who coach. But just to remember to come from a space of learning. And that looks like having this growth mindset, right? Like being open-minded and just listening and asking questions, I think is huge. If you have a good coach, like whoever you're working with, whoever it is, I mean, they'll make you feel welcome. They got you. They're not going to make you feel like, you're there for a reason. And I know a ton of amazing people in this industry who would be more than willing to help you out. So yeah, whoever it is, I mean, shake it off again, like book the lesson and then show up, be brave in that way. And again, like, yes, there are a million ways to arrive at a success, and there's no one size fits all approach, because they will find something that works for you. And I think you just got to trust the process of that.
Look at that happy. Look at all that happiness.
I know that. Look at that girl right there. Sheesh. Oh man. Now I know we have like just a few minutes with you left, Joanna. I have a couple extra questions for you. I'm sure the folks in the chat, and I also want to know, your very first full squish bike was
It was a Specialized camber.
Oh,
29er, yeah. I
man.
had a chaos dropper post on it, and that thing was sick.
Yeah.
I was stoked.
Ride what you love what you ride.
Yes.
Yes,
I
exactly.
learned so much from that bike.
Now, I'm sure, I mean, you work for Thunder Mountain Bikes, and I'm sure there's a lot of bike companies that would love to have you repping their bike, riding it around Sedona, showing people. Do you have bike support? And if not, kind of what's your go-to bike that you're in love with right now?
So I do not. And, I've definitely had opportunities to do that, but I love to switch things up. I love to ride different bikes, especially working at the shop, and I get the opportunity to do that. And we do a lot of bike reviews too. So I just kind of keep it open-ended. But right now, my bike of choice and my daily driver is my Juliana Furtado. And let me tell
Ooh,
you, that bike
ooh,
is so, so sweet.
Great
I
bike.
love, love, love it. Yeah, there it is.
man,
And
Joey's fast.
I just
He's on
recently
it.
sold my Ibis Ripley to replace it with this bike, which is, I love riding a mullet. I think that a mullet for a shorter rider, and just for some context, I'm 5'2", is the sweet spot. And that bike rips. And it's all the travel that you need for Sedona.
Do you
travel
find it
is that?
difficult to jump from geometry to geometry, especially considering all of the crazy terrain that exists where you live?
I find it hard being on a full 29er for myself. Like, I always feel smushed between two wheels on a full 29er.
Yeah.
I am typically on 27.5 or a mullet. And I just recently sold a Evil Insurgent that was a mullet too. And I love that bike.
Nice.
But yeah, sometimes there definitely is that, like, you got to take the bike out for like 2 weeks to get used to the geometry and like the climbing. Cause sometimes the timing on things is a little bit different. So yeah.
The Juliana, what is it that stands out other than the mullet? Is it the geometry? Is it the way that it climbs? Does it feel supple on the
The
down? Like,
climbing, yeah, the climbing is huge. And I first demoed it in Flagstaff last year, and it climbed just as well as my Ibis Ripley. And that bike rips. Like, that bike climbs so good. And I was like, oh, sweet. Like, I'll just get back on a mullet. And yeah, love that bike. It's awesome.
no more butt buzzes on the mullet.
No, yeah, none. Definitely
Right.
none.
I'm 5'7", and when I read the mullet, the butt buzz went away, which was nice
That
because
little wheel in the back. Yeah.
I love my Tasco shorts, and every time I get a butt buzz there on my 29er, I'm like, I didn't poo myself, everybody. It's
Hard on the
tire tread.
wardrobe.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But got the mullet and solve my problems. I love the mullet. Happy Zebra says the same thing. I love a mullet.
Me too.
We have just one more minute, and I do have this question, which came from the previous guest. So now what we're doing is we're asking our current guest a question that came from the previous guest.
Oh,
And the
sweet.
previous guest said this: what is the thing you enjoy the least about MTB? Is it the getting ready in the parking lot, for example? Is it the walking around in a diaper butt after the ride for a long time doing chores and honeydew list?
Oh,
What is
man.
it?
This is a spicy, also
Tough
one that
one.
I'm like, okay.
No pressure. No
Have
pressure.
you guys thought about this? Joey, have you? Mark, have you thought about this?
Yeah, when she asked the question, I was like, oh my gosh, what would it be? And yes, mine was walking around after a ride, having a blast, and then realizing I got to go do all this stuff with a chamois on. Go to the
Yeah.
grocery store, then you feel the
Take it
chamois
off,
starting
Mark. Just take it off.
I took it off. I should have taken it
That's
off.
why you have two doors on your car. You open them and stand in between.
Yeah, that's what's
Yeah.
funny. That's what's parts right next to you. Hey, buddy, whoa, what are you doing?
Hey,
Yeah.
too much information.
I'm gonna say and this is, this one is whatever, but I'm gonna say it's like the pressure that we put on ourselves to perform.
Oh, damn.
Because we all do it, and we have to remember that we do this for fun, and we do this for many reasons, and we should not put that pressure on ourselves to perform. So ease up, give yourself a little bit of grace, and remember that riding bikes is supposed to be fun, and you are out there for a reason, right?
Yes.
And it's amazing that you get to be out there for a reason.
Yeah. God, what a great answer. That's
That's
so
beautiful. I love that.
true. We
I had
all
to
do
think
that.
about that one for a second, but yeah.
It is for everything. It's for social media. I should have more followers. YouTube. I wish I had more views. Riding a bike. I should be able to send that drop. But all the great things that you just did, be thankful for that. You're out there with your friends having blasts. It's for fun.
Because
Don't
there's a
forget
lot of
those.
people who cannot do what you're doing. And so I think
Yeah.
it's important to remember that either they don't have the opportunity, resources, or they just are not physically capable. And I think that's always important to remember.
Ah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful answer, Joanna. Mountain Bike Q&A out of Miami says, what a talent and what a personality. This was an amazing podcast. Thank you,
Thank
Joanna.
you.
Definitely.
Thank
So,
you.
Joanna, in closing, tell people where they can find you and follow you out there on social media.
Dude, if you want to find me and find out all the things that I do, you can just go to my Instagram. That's the best place. Joanna J. Yates on IG. And then my website is the same. So you can go to joannajyates.com and you can learn from me, get a course, or you can book me in Sedona and you'll see all of the things that I do. But also you can just come see me here at the shop at Thunder Mountain Bikes, or tune into their YouTube as well, because I do a lot of content there for them. And yeah, come say hi. I would love to ride with you guys.
I love it. The talented and beautiful Joanna Yates. Not related to Joey Yates.
Thanks for having me on, y'all.
Thank you all so
This was
much for
fun.
joining us on this. Give Joanna a follow. And if you need some coaching, you have a great coach right there. And if you're in an area where you want to get live coaching, then you're not in Sedona, reach out to Joanna. She has a ton of resources and can hook you up with the right people. Until next time, we will see you guys either on the trail or back here in the studio for the next guest, episode 149. Thank you so much, Joanna Yates. Thank you, Joey. And thank you,
Thanks,
Spokesman.
y'all.
See you guys on the next one.
Be well.
Bye.